Alright guys, this is your game 3 against CCS7, I think is their team name. And this is Garden of Terror. Real quick, let's talk about the draft for your team and even their team. You guys drafted a really strong team for this map. You have great wave clear, you have great camp ability, you have potentially good blow up in team fights. It's a really, really, really good comp. The only thing that's going to be a little concerning would be Mosh interrupts. You guys are very light on Mosh interrupts. Meanwhile, their team is going to struggle with wave clear. They're going to sort of struggle with camp taking, and then they are really reliant on ETC and ETC Moshes or Sonya leaps. I feel like you guys can just out macro them on this map relatively easily. So let's kick it in and see how things go. Okay, good job hanging in the bush, Kobe. I like that. Ideally, I'd like you to get back on your mount and back into a bush. Okay, clear the wave. You guys are off splitting. Nice job. You guys are already out ahead of them. Really good job. Look how fast you delete a wave. And off you go again. Kobe, I don't like that you're using Lion's Maw on the minions. I've talked to you about this numerous times. Please don't use your abilities to clear a wave. It's not needed. You've got a Jaina and a Greymane. Whatever you're adding to it isn't much, if anything. Instead, you're now missing a cooldown for potentially something that you would need to tank with. Good recognition of doing this bottom camp early because the objective is bottom, so you want to get the top camp last, so it's pushing out during the objective. Good job realizing that Greymane can do this alone. Again, Kobe, just chill on the abilities. Okay. Easy clear for you guys. You see ETC mid, you know the rest of them are on a camp. And look what it takes for them to do a camp. Like, this is why your comp is just so superior to them on this map. They've got a Sonya, they've got a Ming, they've got an Ana. They even have the ETC coming up, probably just a ward. Okay. Good recognition of this. You should finish this just in time. I don't like that you're so low with the timer coming up. Yeah, you're kind of pushing this wall. As a Jaina, you're not contributing a whole hell of a lot to taking these structures down. Ideally, a couple seconds ago, I would have liked to see you full back. You probably have a tap, but going into an objective that's on your side, I'd like the ability to be able to tap if you need to during the fight. Because especially on this map, these objectives can kind of draw out, which usually starts sucking mana. Rom, good job on rotating down. Greymane will finish. Be a little bit low, probably can tap. That tap should be fine. He's not going to be as intense of a mana user as Jaina. You're okay here. They're clearing. Ming is staying top. Tychus is bot. Kobe's in a bush. Good. With them showing mid, Kobe, I wouldn't have minded you kind of chilling in this bush. Okay. Off you guys go. Again, superior wave clear. Rom is cleaning up the camp on top. It's going to be really hard for you to land a charge taunt with an ETC with all his abilities up. He's got a pretty good kit for peeling you off. Okay. Let's have this conversation again. Your third of the lane, neutral third of the lane, their third of the lane. You don't get punished for it, but you really don't want to be over in their third without a full minion wave taking the hits or without this gate being down. And even then, it's still sometimes questionable because they have a much shorter distance to retreat to safety. You have a much longer distance to retreat to safety. I believe that's a prevalent theme throughout this game, is that you, Kobe, kind of tend to get into their third. You really don't want to go into their third very often. Okay, a little bit of aggression. Booping them out. Okay, this objective is on their side. You guys have decided that you want to go down and gank Tychus. Tychus is shown. He's down there. This is a waste of resources. There are 4 of you. There's 1 of him. He's more than likely going to walk out and walk back. You guys had a 5v4 up here that you could have taken and made this a very quick and easy objective to obtain. So you didn't get a whole lot of value from that. You're going to probably finish up this front gate, and that's going to be it. You see ETC here. You don't see the rest of them. You know that they're coming to you. Kobe, I don't like the blind Lion Maws. I'd like for you, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'll confirm this with Danny. But normally I like to charge taunt or taunt, and then get in the auto attacks, and then when the taunt has worn off, then Lion Maw, so that they're slowed. Slowing them before a charge and a taunt, which is what you normally do, doesn't really do a whole lot because you're basically slowing them into a taunt. Ideally, you slow them when the taunt wears off so that they have a tougher time of walking away. Your rotations so far have been pretty on point. Again, you're just kind of flinging the Lion's Maw out there. Dangerous rotation through here. You guys are looking for something here. Again, Kobe, you should not be clearing minions. You need to be positioned in a bush. That's your job. I know it doesn't sound like fun, and maybe hearing a little ching-ching every time you hit something, it sounds like it's a good time. But ideally, you're posted up in this bush. If you were posted in this bush, and you see him coming in, and you call out to your team, these guys come this way, and you charge and taunt him right here. And because you're doing it out of a bush, you probably catch him with some surprise. And if you're mashing your buttons, you should get the taunt off before he boops you. Potentially dead ETC, if not a very crippled, hurt ETC. You're not doing a bad job of warding over here. But I don't like that your team's in here and you're right here. I'd rather see you right here and your team kind of back here. Rom showing up with this amount of health is just unacceptable. Sort it out. Show up with a majority of your health next time. Whether you have to back and then come, whatever it is, you don't show up with this. This basically has crippled you and made you almost borderline useless for this fight. This is dangerous, especially with ETC. If he decides that he's, for whatever reason, and people do this, he could slide right in there and boop you all back, and you guys would be in trouble. Wise decision to get out of there. The taunt goes off. The bomb is not deep enough. That's going to be a common theme through this video. You'll nick the Ana, and I know you kind of got screwed right here because you threw the bomb out and it kind of hit here and then kind of rolled in, which you need to be careful about queuing your bombs sometimes, or queuing them from long distance, because it'll have that effect where it'll go someplace where you didn't really expect it to go. If that bomb lands back here, they're in kind of some trouble because Ana's already split. But she split herself. But if it lands back here, they have to decide to walk back and potentially get hit by the back end of it, or more likely go this way. Ideally, what would happen is if you placed it back here, Sonya probably bugs out, probably makes it through. ETC, depending on what he wants to do, either comes forward or goes back and gets hit. Tychus, meanwhile, would be pretty isolated. He would be in a pretty bad spot. Alright, so you boop the Ana, you get the bomb on the Ana at least. It gets, you know, almost half her health, or 2/3, or I'm sorry, 1/3 of her health. That's not bad. I don't like the charges with no follow-up. It doesn't really do anything. Either don't press charge, or if you're going to press charge, fully commit to it. You guys definitely have a stronger early game than them. Rom, probably time for you to start hanging in the back. Okay, now you need to figure out what you're going to do as far as cleaning up lanes. Obviously, Greymane can do these camps, siege camps solo, and he probably needs KK or a pre-tap to do the bruisers. If Eldion's here and you guys are deciding to keep the team down here, then Rom, you need to go immediately with your health, probably back, and then go straight top. If the team is going to move and migrate towards the top, then you probably still could have backed and come back here while Eldion clean this up. Looks like you guys have decided to have the team move up. I don't know if I like this right here. Yeah, you guys are getting closer to 10, but you skip this camp right here and with an objective spawning. Rom, you were trading into a Tychus with no health. That's a losing proposition. Okay, again, I think you could have gotten a little bit more value had you taken this camp. This camp would also be pushing during objective. Instead, they have their camp, so they have an advantage here that you either have to clear or it's going to push in. Rom, given that there's no front gate and there's 13 seconds left on the timer, this camp is pretty much going to keep Tychus down here for this next objective no matter what. You need to be gone. You need to be going up. You do not need to be staying here. You're not going to get a whole lot of siege in here because if you step up, this tower is going to hit you. So your pressure isn't really going to do much to Tychus. The camp is what is going to weigh him down and anchor him down here. So you have another potential 5v4 up here if you so choose to, which you don't. You kind of goof around and just stay down there. This was bold to be up here alone while this is spawning. I don't like that your full team, or 3 of you, are clearing this. Again, if Rom is doing what he should be doing correctly, he comes through, he drives by, he clears this, and you guys are up here as 4. You have 4v4. He clears this pretty darn quick, and he's closer than Tychus, who Tychus has really awful wave clear. That would be the correct way to play that situation. So, again, flirting with death right here, because if ETC were on his game, he would have come over here and checked the camp, gotten a visual of it. If he saw you by himself, he slides, you die. He could slide in solo mosh. In this case, a solo mosh would be 1,000% worth it. A Sonya leap as well could take you out. Alright, so you guys are kind of funneling in. Get a great taunt onto the Ana. Your weakness right now is the mosh. The light bomb was pretty good. It could have been done a little earlier because you know when ETC slides in and he hits a group of people that more than likely the mosh is going to come. If it doesn't, the light bomb can go off and hopefully taunt is up. And if taunt's up, then you know he goes from a stun to another, basically another stun, and he dies before he can even mosh. And then KK, I think you did walk into the mosh a little bit. You got kind of happy feet when you put the light bulb on and just kind of wandered into it. It wasn't a big deal. But again, this should be a 5v4 for you guys. Rom is finally coming up. Tychus is still stuck down here, but he's stuck down here because of the camp. So I cannot impress that enough on you, is that, Rom, you really didn't do anything down there. The camp did all the work. Toby goes down. Y'all go down. Ming resets. You get a counter kill. but you're going to die for it. So you have a 1v4 trade, which is not a good trade. All I gotta say, Rom, is it is not worth. What would have been worth would have been you coming up and making this a 5v4 and winning this and probably team wiping them or at least killing a couple of them. That was a tremendous misplay. And hopefully what you guys learn is that little misplays like that have big consequences. So now you're facing a 2-2 on the next objective. They've got control back of the map. They're cleaning stuff up. They're going to start pushing stuff. They're going to get their camps uncontested. Little things like that really can change the way the game is going. All right. Again, T-Rex, though, has been very good about the camps. He's been just on top of these camps. I don't really like this. They're a little bit out ahead of you guys. You need to be looking for a little bit more XP. You also know that they're coming down. And again, Kobe, you're in a position here where you're not really tanking. The biggest threat to you isn't going to come from over here because you'll see them coming from over here. It's going to come through here. This is the area that you need to ward off. Ideally, you're in this bush. You have vision. ETC pops through here. You go on them. I think this already happened once in this game and where you could have done it, and I think this comes up again. Instead, you try to go through there. He had vision of you walking around, coming from here to here. He knew you were here. He knew when you went off vision, you were probably coming towards him. He had that hand on that button, just ready for that. You can also, preload your taunt with charge, too, so that, it's a combination. This is kind of a rough one for you guys. Small area, choke point, and you have Rom top. Again, at this point, Rom, you walk away. That dies right there. This pretty much washes out. But you've got a larger problem, which is it's 4v5 down a talent tier. I know this is for the objective, but the smarter play here is just to give this. Okay. However, you guys have mixed signals. Rom is probably doing the correct thing on this particular circumstance by staying up here and soaking and trying to get 13. You all are doing the wrong thing by trying to go in there and contest this. What ends up happening is, one, you're taking a 4v5 and down the talent tier. Your risk versus reward has dramatically changed. You're at a much higher risk. Your reward is relatively low. These guys now have an ability to potentially kill a couple of you and get the objective, and deaths before an objective are crippling. Luckily, this map, the objective isn't horribly strong. Interesting that you guys were all able to funnel through there and nobody died. It should have been died. KK, I get why you were doing this because you basically kind of rotated, mainly because your team did, so I think you kind of felt like you needed to rotate with them through there. You rotating safely through was probably pretty darn low odds. The light bomb is probably okay. And it was actually really good on the Sonya. And you probably get the Sonya kill. But that's what happens in return. And I'm assuming now you guys are going to get moshed. Luckily, he doesn't have it up for 3 seconds, but he's got it up now. Yeah, they don't even need it. Alright. So, instead of having 5 of you up to defend, you have 2 of you up to defend. Jaina's crippled, has to go back. T-Rex making a smart move, going to the far lane to get an easy clear. Bot lane definitely going to be in a little bit of trouble with the camp and the objective. Jaina's going down there. They showed mid and they're coming top, which is actually kind of dumb of them. That's a long way to travel to push an objective. I would imagine that they're only going to get 1 fort out of this because of that decision, when they probably should have gotten 2. If not, 3 if they played it really smart. You're getting out of there. That's fine. I would have probably just walked away earlier and gone down and helped defend mid. If you came mid earlier, Rom could have potentially bugged out and helped down here. This is fine, though. This was good defense. This was pretty good defense. Alright, and Rom should be cleaning up top lane. I don't like sending T-Rex. I think T-Rex, you need to stay with the group. You're a little bit more of a kill threat and a little bit more of a discouragement to the other enemy team. D.Va really is kind of a wet noodle as far as damage. So, other than bomb, there's not a huge threat with her. Micro missiles does decent damage, but Rom can go clear this really fast. Okay. You know that because you're going to send somebody top and they're going to show, and because this is low, this is their destination. They are going to go bot and they're going to finish this off. You guys have a decision to make. You're on equal talent tiers. You could go down, and I'm okay with a 4v5 underneath your fort. They don't have a way to shut it off. This is a relatively safe play and a relatively risky play for them, even 4v5. You guys are coming down a little bit slow, but there's a problem. Rom and T-Rex are up here. So now it's a 3v5. A 3v5 under your own fort that's half health is not a safe play. Okay. Laser goes down. Lots of damage. Also, too, when you're trying to defend a fort and they're pushing in really hard and they have an advantage, the best thing you can do, Eldion, is to dump your damage into the wave to stop the wave. Normally, when you stop the wave and kill the wave, it makes it much harder for them to push in on it and capitalize on it. Most people don't like taking tower shots. They take a couple, they get out, and that's kind of it. Okay. You get T-Rex back, you lose the bot for it, which is no surprise. So, again, the decision to fight down a person and down a talent tier on this objective previously cost you guys 2 forts. And a whole bunch of experience. Okay. I like this. You guys are still on the same talent tiers. I don't like that there's 3 of you necessarily doing it, but I get that maybe you're a little bit concerned that they might invade. Right now, you need to start looking for some experience. You both ran mid. I'm okay with you guys technically right now because you saw them kind of rotating out earlier. I'm okay with you going bot and just clearing this wave. Jaina comes down, dumps a blizzard on it, walks away. Getting this camp pushed onto this fort faster. Instead, they're going to come down, they're going to clear it before it even crosses into their part of the lane. And now you guys are potentially looking for a fight. You did get back into it experience-wise, which is actually pretty impressive. Okay, you're looking to be aggressive here. There's 3 of you. There's 4 of them. T-Rex is potentially on the way. Rom, that's a good rotation in to clear this. Alright. Your camp's full, their camp's not. Okay, Rom, as soon as that's dead, you should be speeding your way down right now. If this is going to be a fight, you need to be there. You don't need to be there to clear the wave. You now have advantage. You have a wave plus a pretty full camp. and you're ahead of Sonya. So you need to be here with them. I mean, again, this is a pretty dangerous fight. You had Light Bomb up. You did a pull instead. I don't mind the pull. I still would have liked to see the Light Bomb right here. I think the Light Bomb could have been potentially game-breaking right there. You get the counter kill on the ETC. However, Sonya rotated. Rom, you actually went back top. Being an offlaner, you are an experienced sponge, but that does not mean that is the only thing you do. Okay, so Sonya just outplayed you. Sonya came down, leaps through, adios T-Rex. Not a bad light bomb for a disengage. You had the disengage, and then you guys all, like, Kobe, you never left. KK, you actually walked back in a little bit. And Eldion was kind of chilling, like, probably looking at you two going, like, are we leaving or what? You do make it out. You shouldn't have, but you do. Okay, meanwhile, Rom, you're off playing a whole different game than everybody else. This is really not what you want to be doing. That's a really good taunt engage. Rom, I get it that you're coming in and queuing him and stunning him, but when you do that, you're also moving him back. Ideally, during the taunt, if you can come around and boop him into this so that he gets a little bit more trapped and stays in there. Okay. Again with the bomb placement. You don't place the bomb on the people that you want to kill. You have to place it where they need to run to. So you placed it right here. It's really not going to do anything. They all run out of it. Even if Kobe had a taunt right here and you place it down as soon as the taunt starts, more than likely, unless Jaina gets like some fantastic super duper slow, they're still walking out of it. Bomb does more damage in the middle, less damage on the outside. This bomb needs to be placed right here. If that bomb's placed right here, one, it's going to hit a couple of them. Two, potentially, if you get it deep enough, there are times when they actually can't walk through it. They have to make a choice of either taking the middle damage or they have to take a gamble and try to run out this way or maybe even this way. Maybe this way, but again, I don't think they make it out this way because they get hit by the bomb too. So your bombs need to go a little bit deeper. Right here would have been pretty much perfect. Yep, so it zones them out. I mean, it does something, but it definitely, you're not getting the value of it. You do end up getting the tribute, mainly because they didn't have ETC. That's a great taunt right there. Just no follow-up. A little bit out ahead. That was a good kill on ETC. That was a great kill on Tychus. Okay. Rom, this is the part where I tell you now that you've got a couple kills, this is where you become a split pusher again. So your team now has an advantage. They don't have a significant advantage when they have you up 2 people. Your objective is already kind of low. This poor little Shambler guy is going to come up here and die on the front wall. Unless you get like 2 kills, you're probably not taking this keep. Ideally, Rom, you come down here. You're going to get this no matter what, but you get all the experience from it. You get all these little minion waves that nobody is soaking on the other team. Okay. Right here. Sonya is in view with an objective. You got 2 dead, and you know there's 2 right here. You guys should be maybe killing this tower, and as soon as this tower's up, you go up there and you kill Sonya and you stagger her. Death timers are starting to become a big thing. Okay, when you come up to kill Sonya, you need to do it carefully. She's got leap. Ideally, what you want to do is you want to have Diva pressure her while Covey waits in right field to catch her with a taunt. She'll jump right into you. You just taunt her. Then you charge and Lion Maw her. Ideally, the DPS goes with Covey over here. If she pulls some shit and jumps over here, okay, fine. You guys can maybe track her down if you want. Otherwise, she's kind of out of it. In no man's land, she's probably going to back. So you're here. You get that. Probably could have left by now. A couple seconds late, but no big deal. Okay. Because she saw you guys leaving, she was up here. She's getting ready to boogie. She's probably going to leap as soon as you get on her. Rom, hopefully you have a Q. Let's see. Nope. So, you know, again, in that situation, if you guys left a little bit earlier, you wouldn't probably have to burn your Q. Rom, ideally, if you leave a little bit earlier out of that group, even though I told you bot's probably a better place as far as experience. You get there first. You're the one who pressures her. Potentially, you catch her with a stun and force it out, and then Covey just catches her right here. Nope, she gone. So, okay, you get the fort. You guys are looking good. You flip the map back around. You've gotten all their forts down. You've got pretty much front wall down here. You'll get a little bit of front wall maybe here, and potentially, if you hang back a little bit, you know that a couple people are going to go down here and clear this. Instead, you run up, show immediately. That's not the worst play. You get that, and you're out. Okay, got to be careful. Anna, sleep dart, ETC, combo, leap, down for now, and you know it's down, but let's pretend it wasn't. That's a really sad dead T-Rex right there, if that were the case. Rom, I don't like you being the, I'm going to press Q to be the first one out of here. You and Kobe are the meat. You don't Q to run away when this happens. You should be hanging right with the group, and your Q is going to be the best disengage that your team has. So if Sonya were to, let's say, have it and leap in here and somehow catch T-Rex, if you had your Q up, you could boop or stun her and then come right back around, and you would still be out, and you would have bought space for your team. Do not just race off. Risky camp right there. I get the taunt, but your DPS is busy, so big mosh. 1, 2, 3 of you. Your mosh interrupt is inside here. You don't have a bomb. Rom, I do like the fact that you did bust out and reduce their damage. I think that's huge. That probably saved a life or two. Eldion, no mana, but I like that you instantly recognize, hey, just try to kill the ATC. He's susceptible. He's self-rooted. That was a good light bomb coming out of it. You got the Sonya off of you. Good rundown right there. Okay, right now you guys are flirting with danger. Laser's still up. You've got a Li Ming. You're pretty low. Resets will significantly hurt you. Alright, so now the resets start kicking in from the mech death. Okay, Rom, don't ever back here. This is just arrogant and borderline stupid. If anybody comes up here and checks, you're dead. Okay, smarter play. They all back, and they back as a group while he does the camp. You guys are looking for 20. Should be snapping these camps. Enough time's passed, you know that these guys are going to cap this. This is just kind of a waste of time and a loss of experience. That said, you guys have some kills right here. Ideally, Covey, you hit Anna with the charge taunt. You've got your DPS rolling around. Rom, I don't like that you went around this way because I believe you have a bomb coming up, and I think if you bomb over here, you cut off their retreat. Yeah, you have a bomb. Alright, so Kobe, I don't know what happened there with that whole charge, no taunt. I guess you charge the minion, she just walks away. Um, you find that. Okay, that's huge. I don't know if you needed the light bomb to lock Tychus down. Again, Rom, you need to learn the mechanics of bombing. You're not trying to bomb this guy. You're trying to bomb where he wants to go. Yeah, even then you guys didn't get the kill. I'm a little surprised on that. Curse Bullet was up. T-Rex, whatever the target is, you use Curse Bullet. You rip it on cooldown, okay? It is a 30-second cooldown. You just burn it. You're not saving it for ETC and ETC only. If that was on Tychus, just pop it off and get in there. You guys are all pretty darn low. Adios, Kobe. Rom should be able to make it out, and the rest of you make it out. Again, this was all predicated on you kind of went greedy here. You could have got both camps and cleared this, which would have been a safer play, and you would have been 20 because you would have gotten some experience soak and experience from the camps. Now they're scheduled for 20. They got a kill. The gank up here wasn't a bad idea, and it could have been a really good setup. Kovi, you misplayed it. You clicked a minion, and Rom, you just totally misplayed it, and you don't understand how bomb works. Again, I'm going to keep beating you on this, is that bomb needs to be placed where they want to go, or where they need to go, not where they are. Alright, so you guys are going to give this. That was really, really, really bold, Eldion, to try to take this camp while the objective was right here. And then I know what you two were thinking, and it's going to end in disaster, or it should end in disaster. Okay, right there, you two should be dead. You two should be dead, and the game is probably over. There is no reason for you guys to go anywhere near that bush. That right there, if this team were any good, or they were decent, that ETC's in that bush, he is sliding you guys. One, if not both of you, die. And you're still flirting around by that bush. That's the scary part. Okay, you saw them, you caught a little bit of vision. Okay, ETC has finally discovered that this bush exists.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
Alright. Alright. So you guys are rotating around, getting ready for this. This is a tough spot. This is a really kind of nasty approach into this objective. I like probably coming in through up here because, one, you get kind of a... You can come in here. You can maybe even set Rom up here, Kovi here, KK here, so KK's pretty darn safe in between those two, and then from there she can pretty much heal everybody involved. And they're checking bushes, they're paranoid. They drop laser down. The other thing too is that because they're going to want to control this space and this space, like if you guys were here, laser would instantly just get nuked. Right there, it's a little problematic because it's a little too far for your DPS to kill. It's going to aggro onto these first, but he's going to control it, hit you with it. It's upgraded laser. it's a little scary. Also, I wanted to talk 20 talents before this fight started. Let's see. I'm okay with Inner Fire on Anduin. Um, I like the micro missile upgrade, but in this particular case, because Li Ming has pretty much been shredding you guys, I would have taken the spell damage converts to healing ROM. It would have probably gotten you quite a bit more bang for your buck. Hunter's Blunderbuss is fantastic. Winter Mute is great. Archon is pure troll from their team. Super Nanos, Lasers troll. Ignore Pain's the right one. Death Metal. Okay. Death Metal is scary. Death Metal is one of those things where you can't get too excited about killing ETC because if you stand too close to him, he then turns around and basically gets you guys killed. Especially in these small little areas.
Alright, now you've done gone to piss me off.
And Archon form. Let's just go to town because it can, because she's pretty safe back there. You're awfully deep. Really good light bomb. You're probably going to get the Ana kill here. Sonya is getting ready to fire on in there. She gets a decent leap. You're protected, though, so you're actually in a pretty good spot, Kobe. Ana's definitely in trouble, but look what you guys are starting to do now. You're all creeping up on ETC. Okay. 2 really good kills. But do you really need to be touching ETC when he died, basically? Nope. Alright. So. Stun, 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 stun. That is a 5-man death mosh. Okay, you lose one, you lose the mech. Could have been worse, could have lost more. Gets T-Rex back up. I like Eldion going up there and stepping up and getting in that Ming's face. I like this call to get this done and taken care of. You're up 3 now. You know, I'm sorry, you're up 2. At this point, though, Rom, I think it's time for you to bug out and potentially look for something else. You have a couple options. You guys can take this camp and push this top. More likely you get the keep. It's a decent value. I like to look at this camp right here. Most offlaners, especially Sonya's, are stupid. They know that as soon as you cap this and show that they're going to want to cap this and probably do it solo. If you kill her right now, it's a huge stagger. If you get this keep, it's good. Keeps are always fantastic value. I mean, that's almost as good as it gets besides the core. But they've got their own thing going on down here. They've got this lane pushed out all the way. This camp only just keeps pushing that down. Eventually, you're going to lose this keep with the pressure that you have in that lane. So I wouldn't mind seeing you guys take this camp and then clearing off this wave and then boogieing straight down for this. And lo and behold, there she is. That's one dead Sonya. But I know you guys have tried to gank her, and she has used leave to get out before. So I get why you did this. This is probably a relatively safe call. You guys are done, out. They have to deal with that. They never get the keep back. Objective is mid. Okay, Kobe, this is the one time where I'm going to tell you, for right now, it's okay for you to come down here and just freeze this so it doesn't go in any further, and then when Rom gets there, maybe Rom can clear it.
That seed is ready for gathering.
Okay. Take a look at the spread here. Rom's a little bit out there, but he's getting some good vision. Kobe, you're trying to cap or hitting minions again? No. You need to be here. Like, Rom on this one actually did your job as a tank. That's good. Laser down. You guys go straight to the camp. Eldion, I think you need to stay with the group a little bit more. Rom, you need to be the one doing the clear and the lane cleanup for a multitude of reasons. One, you are burst. You have control because you took roots. Number two, Rom is a little bit safer of soaking anything solo. He can Q and get out. I mean, there shouldn't be too much concern because you did see them top, but still, it's good in practice to keep you with the group and have Rom do the cleanup of lanes, especially on a diva. Alright, you guys are going to snap this camp and get in position. You potentially have another camp down here. I think it's a wise choice to let it go. If I were the other team, though, I would have maybe positioned a couple people up here, and I would have maybe sent Sonya down here to do this camp. Or at least check it to see if you guys were on it. If you guys weren't, Sonya could have easily done this camp. Got this lane pushed back out. That would have probably pushed into your keep pretty hard. Meanwhile, they could have probably stalled you out with Archon mode and Tychus. And Sonya could have come back up. Okay. So, Kobe, you see Sonya there. You'll probably get vision of ETC soon. I don't like that you're here. You guys are kind of doing a crescent moon, which is a really good thing. A crescent moon is a really strong formation, but you kind of have it like goofed up. Ideally, Kobe, you're in the middle of a crescent moon always. You're not on the edge. Rom would be on the edge of kind of where you're expecting people. So in this case, he would be where KK is. KK usually should be in the back as the healer, and T-Rex would be down potentially here. Is kind of the way a crescent moon would work in this situation. It's definitely a great setup and tool. It's kind of a funky charge. So again, Rom, you're kind of, you know, bringing a knife to a gunfight. You're doing really not a whole heck of a lot with damage. You do have a bomb up, but Ming is just going to chunk you down. You didn't take the right 20, so instead of having your health heal you back up to like right here, you're now half health until KK tries to get you up. You're trying to cap KK, but you have minions all around you. Your team's spread around. Normally, it's not a good idea to try to cap these things during a fight or when a fight's about ready to break down. You could be doing other stuff. You could be healing him up. Instead, the minions interrupt you. You didn't heal him. In fact, Rom still hasn't gotten a heal. It's okay to heal the mech. It's a person too. Okay, good idea on the bomb. Again, just not quite deep enough. And that was kind of a blind bomb anyways. You didn't really have anything going on there, so you just kind of scare them out. You maybe hit ETC if he's stupid, and that's about it. And yeah, ETC's stupid because he could have gotten out that way. Instead, he, for some reason, clicked into here, came back in, took a little bit of damage. Ideally, you don't just throw a bomb out willy-nilly. That's not going to buy you the cap necessarily. Ideally, you let them come in a little bit and the bomb goes back here. If the bomb goes back here, then they've got a little bit more of an issue. Taunt, light bomb. Again, the light bomb is your only defense against Mosh. So, ETC's very happy that you probably used it. He gets a 3-man Mosh. Sonya leaps in. And you guys get run down. That was a good peel, though, Rom. You kept T-Rex alive, which was pretty important. All right. They came back. They could have pushed. They didn't push their advantage. But they're racing. You get vision of them here. You saw one of them drive by. You see another one drive by. You know where they're going. Time to leave. You have no business even remotely being there still. The camp woke you up, which was a blessing. Alright. What do you guys do here? You got this pretty pushed in with the camp going. You've got a Kata down here. That Kata beats your Kata. This is for a 3 out of 3, potentially. At the end of the day, it's not the most horrible thing if they get this objective, okay? This lane is pretty pushed out, and you guys have constant Kata pressure. That clears that up before it probably ever touches your gate. This is pretty pushed out. This is an easy clear. If you guys cleaned this lane up, potentially you could D back here and burn the objective. Again, the objective, when it staggers and crashes, in here, and then 15 seconds later it crashes here, and then 30 seconds if it ever makes it to here. It's a pretty manageable objective to defend. If they all crash at once, slightly different story. So you guys are trying to figure out what you're doing. You probably could have put a little damage into this at least while you were sitting around here. You guys have decided to fight this, so I'm going to slow this down. Let's see how this goes. Okay. ETC was worried that you were going to charge and taunt right there. You probably could have. Damage was a little far back. I feel like they're being a little safe, but you guys are in a choke right there, so it's kind of a tough place to fight. Laser goes down. I like Eldion that you just destroy that laser, which is the whole problem with lasers, that it's just so easily destroyed. Ideally, I'd like to see this elemental go straight on to either Ming or Anna. Okay, you've got it on Anna. Good taunt. Really good light bomb. Okay. That was kind of what I was talking about before, even though it wasn't necessarily a charge taunt and then a light bomb onto ETC. But the light bomb was pretty much enough with the curse bullet to just destroy him before he could press the button. Unfortunately, what you're going to find here is a couple of you are going to get nailed by that death mosh. Sonya going airborne. Sonya's been just living off of these death moshes. Luckily, you guys are relatively healthy in here. KK did a pretty good job of keeping you guys up and healthy. Kobe's really the only one at risk, potentially, right here. Kind of a bad lead. Kobe. Where are you? 2 seconds on Banner and 0.3 on Lion's Maw. Let's see. So ideally, Kobe, you are dropping that Banner. Especially because I believe you took the 20 upgrade. So this would help out a little bit. Nice pickup though on the Ana. You get it. Need to be careful. Again, Eldion is the one who goes up, pressures Ming out. You guys have the objective. Okay. They've got 2 dead with pretty good long timers. I'm not sure setting ROM back really makes a difference. I don't think this kills your core. I don't even think it damages your core much. This catapult kind of chunks it a little bit. Your objective spawns. The objective pretty much stalemates with this. Probably even clears it up. I think it would have been maybe a little bit safer and a little bit faster to Ghost 5. Somebody identifies that, hey, top lane we can end. That right there, Kobe, if you're a little bit quicker, that's a dead Ming. Still should be a dead Ming. And it's almost a dead Ming, and it is a dead Ming.
Say hello to my little friend!
That's right, Kobe. Good kill on the Sonya. You guys win the game. Okay. All around, pretty solid play. I think there's just a little bit of a disconnect between the off lane and the 4-man. And when Rom comes in and when he doesn't come in, you guys had a little bit of regression taking fights down numbers or talents. It happened 2, 3, maybe 4 times this match, whereas in game 2, you guys really didn't do any of that. So again, try to focus on that. Kobe, you really need to work on not hitting minions in waves and stuff and not using abilities to hit minions. Ideally, especially on a Varian, if you pop over to, you guys are fighting in mid and you're in this bush, this bush right here is where you live. You don't live here, smack, smack, smack a minion. You live here looking for something. You are constantly looking for the Wounded Gazelle. And your job is just to secure the Wounded Gazelle for your team to finish off. It's much harder to do when they see you and they see every move you're doing, because then they can anticipate moving back. ETC can anticipate peels or whatnot. But if you come out of here and straight onto somebody, it's much more surprising and much more dangerous. And it'll actually start messing with how they play. They'll start playing much more conservatively. They may miss objectives. They may be late to camps. They may be late clearing stuff because they're actually starting to check bushes. You kind of get in their heads. Overall, I thought it was a pretty well played game. Again, I would just say you guys need to have a better control of your offlane, bringing your offlane into your group. And Rom, you need to work on bomb placements. Bombs need to be placed where the person or where the enemy team needs to go or has to go, not where they are currently standing. So the goal of the bomb, unless you have a really good CC train, is to separate or to cut off retreat, to force them into, I either have to take a whole bunch of damage and hopefully I live and I'm going to get hit by the bomb, or shit, I'm split. It's my only option. I've got to try to make a play and go into in the opposite direction that my team just went in. I don't know. Either way, I'm pretty happy with you guys. I think you guys are making some good progress. I think the games are looking better and better. This was a relatively close one when it probably didn't need to be. But the important part is where in the past you guys didn't know how to finish or didn't know how to win, you are learning how to finish games now, because they could have easily ended the game on you a couple times. And instead, you guys, for the most part, played within and kept it going. So I appreciate you guys watching this. Hopefully you learned a little bit. And we'll focus on some other things in the next one. I'm not going to do game 1, just because game 1 was a shorter game and it went pretty darn well for you guys. So I'm going to try to focus on these games that are either losses or, tight games, a little bit of struggles, and kind of go from there. All right, guys.